Hello everybody, and welcome back to the archive, where I return again with Final Fantasy 14, not 16. That was last night and Saturday. Alright, so I'm going to be honest with you. This is not going to be a very long stream tonight. We are simply completing the couple of things that we have to do before we start Stormblood. I still haven't decided on a class yet, so I still gotta level that, so we can't officially start Stormblood. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up going with Samurai or Ninja, which, Ninja's a little daunting. That I'd have to level from level 3 to 60. Samurai, only 10 levels. So we're trying to sort of figure that. I'm leaning towards Ninja. I'm leaning towards that. So I still need some time to figure it out. So obviously we're not starting Stormblood tonight. I just kind of want to finish up the couple of things. We'll finish up the Patswa Walk. We'll finish up the Alliance series, because I do need to officially finish that. And I forget the list of quests you gave me, Lucian, last thing, but I was looking at Towards the Firmament just in case. I didn't remember exactly what it was, and I didn't have time to go and check the stream log for the VOD from me last time. Where is it? And the one that starts in 410. Okay. Well, the one that starts in Fort Tom was Paths We Walk, so the Scholasticate quest line. Which, I have no idea where that officially starts. But, for now, we will go... We need to teleport to Sea of Clouds, so we can go finish off the Alliance raid quests. I have no idea how long these quests are going to take, but we'll just sort of play until we finish them. It's in the Drooled, and the NPC's name is Math Adjacent. Okay. Shouldn't be too hard to find it then. Red Bill Farewell. That's where we're going. I mean, I'm leaning towards Ninja, definitely, but the only thing that means is I actually need to make time to definitely log in every day to make sure I can grind out fucking 57 levels. And who knows whether or not I'll be able to do that in a week. It depends on how much my work fucks me. Still wounded, Leofard. Bah, me goggles are a mess. But I can always get me a new pair of goggles, and a new airship. I suppose we should be glad we didn't lose aught else after diving headlong into a void-set nest. Yeah, either that, or, I think, since Ninja is a starter job, well, not a starter job, but, since Ninja is a level 1, it should also have, a hunt log that I can do. Now that we've taken the skies back, it's time we were taking our leave. The Talons and the Red Bills can kiss this brief alliance farewell. Unless, of course, you're interested in a more permanent arrangement. Your bootlickers might think your voice a siren's song, but it grates on me. Yeah, fucking hell, I cannot be consistent with Leofard's voice. Like a harpy's screech. No, this is the first and last time we fly together. We're back to being rivals, the way it's always been. You are a very stubborn man, Red Bill, but you do well to remember. I always get what I want in the end. Head back to my quarters and see to the furball's hurts. I'll be along in a bit. I feel so foolish. I demanded that Leofard remain behind, only to have him rescue my mission from certain failure. A failure that would have made mock of your heroic efforts as well. You are too kind. What words exist that can properly express my contrition? I know not how to even begin making my apologies. I should like to approach the captain, but he has the air of a man who seeks solitude. 'Tis strange to see him so melancholy. Could it be the loss of the Remil which troubles him so? Nay, I shan't intrude upon his contemplation with clumsy questions and trite platitudes. Let us leave him be for the moment. Alright. I'm off center. I really wish this cable wasn't so thick that it, like, kept knocking it off of where I actually want it pointed. If I leave it be for, like, 24 hours. I gotta, like, find a way to, like, make it permanently stay in one place. Or just finally decide to upgrade my camera like I've been talking about for like 6 months. Mistress Stasia, if I might ask you a question, do you know the cause of the captain's melancholy? Is it because of the Rymil? Pray tell me if it is so. I cannot help but feel responsible for the vessel's destruction, and I would better understand Leofard's present distress. If you really want to understand, I suppose I should start with how the captain was orphaned as a child. As matters turned out, he was taken in by a high-born widow who raised him as her son. From what Leofard has told me, his adoptive mother was a kind, quiet-spoken woman, but due to some illness or other, she was rarely able to venture outside. Instead, she spent hours reading to her boy from a library well-stocked with books from faraway lands. Leofard cared for her as her malady grew worse by the day, and he was there by her side when death finally carried her away to Thal's halls. While she was alive, she never did ask much of him. Not long before she passed on, however, she wrung from him one single promise, that he escape the conformity she had always endured and live his life as free as a bird. As you've likely guessed, her name was Rymil. That's her portrait there hanging on the wall. Ah, this explains much. I had wondered as to the origin of his vessel's naming. The Sky Pirate Way is the life Leofard chose for himself, but I like to think he named his ship the Rymil so that his mother would be there to watch over all his adventures. Since when were you so loose-lipped about a comrade's private past, Stasia? That fucking look. I ain't in the habit of leaning on people's sympathies, so you can all keep that tidbit to yourselves, eh? And I thought I told you to see to the furball's wounds. Look at Cape Puss. It's in tatters. Come here a moment. A scarf? For me? Aye, that's a little present we give to every new Red Bill. My meal taught me it's not protecting memories that's important. It's having the strength to follow your path and make those memories in the first place. Seeing how determined you were to clean your master's slate, I'd say you'd fit right in with our crew. Listen, if you're thinking that little airship meant a lot to me, then you'd be right. But I'd rather mourn a hunk of metal than lose them as can share in me highs and lows. So let's get this straight, Puss. There's no need for apologies. The Sky Pirate makes his choice, and he sticks by it. The life of a Sky Pirate, As I seem to be bereft of both place and purpose now, I suppose I shall accept your offer. I'm yours to command, Captain. Glad to hear it. Your first duty is to join us in giving our adventure here a proper send-off. Well, it's about bloody time you two saw eye to eye. But honestly, Captain, you don't mean to head out in those rags, do you? Let's get you cleaned up as well before we say our fond farewells. Yeah, you're a little worse for wear there, buddy. It's time we parted ways. Let's give you an escort down to Coldwind. That was some adventure, but our journey into this unknown is over. For the now. When the skies spit out some new mystery, you can bet that I'm coming up to find you. After all, there ain't nobody else who handles the unexpected quite like you do. High adventure and heady rush of danger. Surely in this life there is no greater reward. I could have definitely done that at the end of last stream, but I really needed to get off. If I had known it was going to be that short, I just would have done it last stream. That's alright. Alright. As we walk, let's go talk to Higiri. Any minute now, Mordona. We can load a little faster. Please. Please? Now? Alright. Well, that's fine. I could have just taken my mount up to the top. Is aught amiss? I am both flattered and surprised that you should remember my small role in this tale, given the grandeur of your subsequent endeavors. Though I must confess to having derived some selfish pleasure from donning the garments of the shinobi once more, I am honored to have been able to assist in freeing General Raoban from his captivity. And I believe I speak for all my countrymen when I say we are most grateful to have been granted the opportunity to contribute to the restoration of the Scions. Much has changed, it is true, and much as it may never be as it once was. But in watching you and yours rise from the ashes and rebuild, I am reminded that we must never give in to despair, for there is always something which may yet be saved. Oh, that was the end of that, huh? Given the name, I assume this is a direct continuation. Will you be traveling to Ul'dah next? If so, I would ask a favor of you. I've prepared a special unguent to aid in General Raubon's rehabilitation. Injuries such as his must be tended to daily, even long after they have healed. You need only to deliver it to his man, Commander Swift. He will see that the Flame General receives it. I really gotta, like, reinstall this game on my SSD or something to make the load times a little faster. Oh, it's right here, Hall of Flames. Duh. Ah, Swift. Greetings. What is it you have there? Some unguent? Unguent? I was not aware that the General required such stuff. And one of our Doman friends made this for him, did she? Very well. I shall be sure to pass it on. Actually, wait here. We have just this moment concluded a meeting, and I expect he would be glad to speak with you before returning to the palace. So, Commander Swift tells me you came all this way to deliver unguent. Daily, she says. Well, mayhap it is the best to be prudent. The gods alone know why you agreed to deliver it for her, though. Unless you mean to favor me with that rematch I requested. I jest, lass. You're on a journey of reflection, are you not? I, Merylweb, said as much. And now you want to relive the moment you pulled me from the pit Ilberd left me in to rot. It shames me to think of it, that I was so blind to his hatred. Lolorito tells me it was not always so. That Ilberd admitted to him he once believed that I would return to Alamigo at the head of an army. But years passed, and I did nothing. From all my accomplishments, for all my wealth, power, and influence, I did naught to better the plight of my people. Not for lack of trying, but Ilberd didn't know. He thought the bull of Alamigo had grown fat and complacent, that my story set a bad example for our countrymen. Forget your homeland and chase the Ul'dah dream. A fine, impossible dream which gave men the strength to endure their hardships and to try to make new lives for themselves here. So the dream had to die. He would kill me, stir up the disillusioned, arm them at the monetarist's expense, and then... Forgive me. The Scions paid the price of my failings. The gods know I've no shortage of debts to repay, and of vows to keep and duties to discharge. But mark me well, lass. There will be a reckoning. Mayhap not today, mayhap not tomorrow, but a reckoning there will be. A refugee of a fallen nation, he had risen from the depths of poverty to claim a seat on the syndicate. Yet for all his great deeds, one was left undone. And like sands through an hourglass, the years slipped away, taking with them an old friend's hope. Man, it's a good thing I unlocked flight for all these maps. Alright, Gorgan Mills. Alright, this place where we dealt with some of the heretics. Quote-unquote heretics. By the Fury, is that you? Forgive me, but what reason could you possibly have for returning to this godforsaken place? Mayhap it is fate which brings you here on this day of introspection and reflection. We are come to Gorgan Mills to accept the surrender of a half-dozen heretics who once fought for Lady Isart. If you're intending to visit the cellars, I'd ask that you do nothing to unsettle them. Okay. I don't know. I mean, yeah, why are they, like, I guess, what, hopefully, I mean, yeah, they did technically commit crimes while being, you know, heretics, but, interesting surrendering. Wait, I know you. You were at the amphitheater with the Dragon Slayer. True. I mean, I guess technically still. I mean, I figured all that stuff would be like sort of once all of the Reformation stuff happened, that would kind of be mostly dissolved. But I guess that's a point. I suppose we owe you an apology. When you came to us seeking to parley, we were sure it was a scheme to lure out Our Lady. We were sure about a lot of things. When she first shared her revelation, when she told us that she was not Saint Shiva reborn, we assumed it was a test. For had we not prayed for salvation? Had she not descended to deliver us from evil? She replied that our prayers were but fuel for a fever dream, a construct born of desperation and denial. She was no savior, she said. I guess that's true. Yeah, the Ishgardian Orthodox Church still is still a pretty big force in Ishgard. I guess, yeah, that wouldn't necessarily go away. And, you know, legal reformation isn't an immediate thing. It's probably a process that would take literal in-universe years. That's also true. It's probably legalese or something. I don't know. Laws are hard. But when we marched upon Ishgard regardless, she pulled us from the brink of oblivion and implored us to find another way. And here we are, ready to lay down our arms at last. He is. He is. He's doing all he can, I'm sure. It's time. She had considered you a friend. Had things been different, mayhap we could have been friends too. Farewell. Forsaken by gods and men, they found salvation in a revelation. They would take up arms against their own kind to set ancient wrongs to right. Cut out Ishgard's festering heart, and the war would be over. This, they knew, believed with all their being, until their savior told them their efforts would be for naught. I don't need these on my hotbar anymore. I kind of did these. I'll need to re-equip them at some point if I'm working on weapons for a different class, but for now I don't need them, and this hotbar wouldn't matter anyway. Well, if it isn't the great warrior of light herself, she who slew the dread worm Nidhogg, bringing an end to 1,000 years of war. And my very livelihood? Well, go on then. Strike me down and finish the job. Stab me right in the heart. I'll even lend you my spear if you like. After all, I won't be bloody needing it. Tell me true, for a moment I had you fooled. Ye gods, as if I could hate the woman who rid us of Nidhogg. Oh, and lest you worry, that business about me losing my livelihood couldn't have been further from the truth. In point of fact, peace is proving surprisingly lucrative. As our nation's ties with Hrasvelger's brood have grown stronger and our interest in Dravania have begun to expand, we have seen a marked increase in the number of travelers on the road. Needless to say, said travelers require protection, which we are only too happy to provide. Granted, such work will not earn you a lordship like slaying a dragon might, but it pays well and is far less prone to end in incineration, which seems a reasonable enough compromise, all things considered. As long as there are wars to fight, there will be those who take up arms not out of hatred or even a sense of duty, but for want of better employment. When presented with an alternative, such individuals may gladly trade their swords for sides, or failing that, pledge them to a more worthy cause. God, 8 active hotbars is insane. Granted, I have 5? I have 3 here, and then 2 split over here for my job changes and my tank stances. Oh. Something the matter, lass? Nath giving you trouble? A journey of remembrance, eh? Gods, it feels like only yesterday that Ysal turned up in tail feather with you in tow. Back into our lives and gone all too soon. Did I ever tell you how we found her 5 years back? In a topor out in the forest all by her lonesome. Well, we weren't about to leave her there, so we carried her back here and tended to her till she woke up. Didn't say a word for days, Ysal. She just sat there and stared up at the sky as if the ground held for nothing for her. And it didn't, we learned when she finally spoke. Now, you might think she's not one to smile, but if you'd seen her in those years that followed, and one day, all of a sudden, she says she's got a truth that must be shared, up and leaves for God knows where. And that was the last we heard of her, for a time. Redemption's not beyond us, friends. Come and hear the truth. Come and hear the Lady Iceheart speak. And they did, from far and wide, or so the story went. Some said there was nothing in it, but I knew. I knew. I think that deep down, most folks just want to do right by themselves and by others. And they try, oh how they try. You do, certainly, and so did she. Apologies, you came here to think on your own memories, not to listen to mine. I take it the Nath are next? Right then, if we're to do this properly, you'll need to gather up your incentives, same as before. In case you've forgotten, there's a basket of fresh Calum tree fruit, a good-sized jar of landtrap nectar, and a dirty great cartload of young Naka flesh. Come on, lass. Surely you can't be that bloody daft. You're more than welcome in their village already. Safe travels. Yeah, I figured as much.
Hunter of dragons and gods, I bid you welcome.
What would you ask of me this day? Once we would have had no conception of what you speak. The one mind does not forget, but we do. It can be most distressing. To remember is not enough. One must strain and give words to memory, and inscribe words upon parchment. This is the chronicler's crawling. He wrote of how you came to Loth XIV, and how you left to slay Ravana, and how the young hunter trained with the old hunter while you were away. We shall treasure these memories, this history you have given us, and when Nuvat join us, we shall share it with them as well. Bound no longer to the will of the many, they were now free to walk their own path. Thus reborn, they would write the first chapter of a new history to be passed on to future generations. And as their culture grew older and richer, so too would their story. Vidofnir and Annex. I guess I'm taking the stairs. Friend of Isael, warrior of warriors, thou art ever welcome in Annex Shrine. What bringeth thee to us this day? There is much wisdom to be gained from looking to the past, to walk half-remembered paths and mark anew their twists and turns. We too do this, though not through pilgrimage, nor less the written word beloved of thy historians. In song do we preserve the deeds of our lost, and chronicle the passing of the ages. Naught hath greater power to stir our hearts. 'Twas a dirge of profoundest sadness that roused Nidhogg's brood to action, a dirge which soundeth no more. Now a new song riseth to fill the void, one of hope rekindled, of war's end and peace's rebirth. I shall sing of thee and ye sail ever after, that all may know and remember. In the chorus, the fallen could rise once more, for none are dead whose names yet echo in the heavens, and their songs would not end until the last voice fell silent. Heroes and villains, sinners and saints, all would live again. Mogholm. Of course we're gonna go visit the fucking Mughals. Moglin. Well, yank my palm and call me a molebat. I certainly wasn't expecting to see you today. Still calling yourself the Warrior of Light? Not that there's anything wrong with that, Kupo. Anyway, what are you doing here? Still need to figure out a new name. It doesn't really fit my appearance anymore. Still thinking on it. I'm close. I've gotten close a couple times. Thank heavens for that. I was sure you were going to ask for help with yet another one of your exciting quests, but by all means, we'd love to pass the time reminiscing about the good old days. And when better than now, Kupo? What, with your friends visiting and all? Wait here and I'll fetch them. Wait, my friends visiting? My friends are visiting? Oh! Hi! I wasn't expecting to see you here, of all places. Full glad I am to see you again. And in Mogome, of all places. Kupopo, it really is you! And just when we were about to leave. I think it wonderful, this pilgrimage of yours. A final reflection upon the past, that you might face the future with eyes unclouded and a heart at peace. Few would deny that the events of recent days warrant such contemplation. When last we stood in this place, I dare say none among our number would have believed what was to follow, young Estinian least of all. Upon learning what befell him at Aziz La, I confess I thought him lost. But when Master Elfino told me of your great struggle and of his salvation, I was reminded of your talent for the impossible. If you ask me, he seemed altogether too stubborn to die, though I suppose it's no small feat to evict a spite-filled worm once it has made its home in one head. With Nidhogg's passing, the children of Ishgard and Dravania may at last look to the future. It is my hope, however, that they will not forget the deeds of history, nor the many thousands of lives lost in the conflict. For only through remembrance will they avoid the mistakes of the past. We thank you again for your hospitality, Chieftain Moglin, and pray that you will one day allow us to extend you the same courtesy. I wish you well on your journey. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal. Until we meet again, Koopa. Even in the farthest reaches of the distant, dangerous lands, one may chance upon a friendly face. Though given to mischief and largely unconcerned by the troubles of the outside world, they came to understand Ishgard's plight and agreed to lend their aid. Eventually, that is. Alright, where to next? Make camp in the ruins of southeast of Zenith. Oh, yeah. Right. God, the campfire. Exactly in the same place, too, huh? This time, we're alone, though. The crackling warmth of Alphinaud's campfire, the savory waft of wee sails bubbling stew, the soft snoring of Moghan asleep on the grass. A cold wind blew that night as well, and on the morrow they mounted in steps and blew the horn. But having climbed to the summit with hopes in their hearts, they descended dejected, weighed down by truths too grim to contemplate. Back to Ul'dah, huh? I figured we'd be maybe meeting with Freisvelger, but And to be fair, he made it pretty clear last time that he wanted some time. You there! Over here, quickly! Oh, Momodi. Momodi? I should have known you would see through my disguise. After all, you have seen it before. Oh, Tataru! But enough talk. We cannot oh. Not Tataru. I'm a fucking idiot. Hello, Sultana. God, of all the people I expected to meet here, I don't know why I didn't expect you of all people. But enough talk. We cannot linger here lest the guards recognize their Sultana. I should have guessed by the hair color. The hair color is like a dead giveaway. As you may have deduced, I was taking the air outside of the palace when I saw you standing there, staring off into space. Have you something on your mind? I understand completely. So much has happened. So much has changed. And all in so short a space of time. Even now I struggle to make sense of it all. But one thing at least is abundantly clear. I owe you an immense debt of gratitude for all you have done on my behalf and on behalf of those whom I hold dear. After I awoke, Papa Sean told me everything. It was a lot to take in, but nothing could prepare me for what Lord Lolorito had to say. That ruthless, manipulative swine came before me and expressed regret for what had come to pass, and thinking to make amends, offered all of Ted Telechi Adelegi's assets, as well as half his own personal fortune to the crown. And I accepted. Okay. Long did I debate how best to use this wealth. There's no end to the troubles facing our nation, and no shortage of worthwhile causes. Yet none among our people have suffered more than the refugees, and it shall be they who shall be first to receive aid and succor. There is also the matter of the terrible wrongs committed against you and yours, for which I am in large part responsible. Nay, do not protest. It is the truth. Accordingly, I have set aside monies to aid in the Scion's rebuilding, if you would have them. I don't think I should be the one making this call. Granted, we really don't have a leader to make this call, so I guess we'll make do. We have Revenant's Toll and all of the assets there. I think it would be best if it went to the refugees and the people of Ul'dah. I see. I trust you know that I would never presume to atone for my mistakes with money. I only wish to see it put to good use. Assuming you have no objections, I shall pledge the fund to the continued development of Revenant's Toll. Oh, listen to me. So much for enjoying a moment's respite outside of the palace walls. It would rather seems as if I have brought my responsibilities with me. I suppose I should return. Lady Lilira, you must come home at once. Father is worried sick, you know. God, Confound it. You lot search this area. I know she came through here. On the other hand, it is essential that a ruler see firsthand how her subjects go about their daily lives, and I have not visited the market in weeks. 'Twould seem a shame to let this opportunity go to waste. Might I impose on you to have a brief yet cordial conversation with those Sultan Sworn? I leave the choice of subject matter up to you. Take care. Yeah, get out of here. I beg your pardon, miss, but did you perchance see a young Lalafelian noblewoman pass this way? Are you certain? Oh dear, Master Papashan said this might happen, but I never truly believed he was serious. Wait, I know you! You're the Warrior of Light. What a stroke of luck! I can think of none better qualified to help us. You see, it is no mere noblewoman that we seek. Ah, but Master Papashan was most explicit about the need for secrecy. Pray forget I mentioned it. We will find the lady on our own. What cruel fate to lose her father as a child and be compelled to rule in his stead. And how the years have tempered her dreams and taught her sometimes brutally the price of naivete. Though outwardly unscathed by her ordeal, it was a wiser and more wary Nanamo who reclaimed the throne. God, I hope the Scions don't mind that I turned that money down. I mean, we've been fine. Like, we didn't need the funding. It's not like we're raising a private army like before. Huh, there you are. Higiri told me of your pilgrimage. I knew it was only a matter of time before you sought me out. I, too, have been reflecting on the choices which shaped my path. When I took to the road with my grandfather, when I joined the Crystal Braves, when I tried and failed to warn you before the banquet, I had my suspicions about Wilred's death. That it was the work of a Garlean spy within our ranks. But I could not be sure who was involved, hence my desire to speak with you in private. I thought long and hard about how to approach you without arousing suspicion. Mayhap too long. Eventually, I decided to arrange a meeting through Mistress Momodi. Little did I know that bastard Laurentius had seen me do it. Shortly thereafter, the Fourth received urgent summons. Needless to say, I had no choice but to answer, and soon found myself at the mercy of Captain Ilberd's band of traitors. They confined me to the Rising Stones, along with others still loyal to the Scions. Riol, Ephemi, Egremus, or however the fuck I pronounce that. Quite what they planned to do with us, I couldn't say. Mayhap they thought we would turn given time. The fools. Lieutenant Yu Hase bid the Third keep us under constant guard, but when Captain Ilberd moved to carry out General Raban's execution, they were forced to withdraw all but of token force, which we took by surprise one night, and then it was over. One might argue that it turned out better than it had any right to, all things considered. Still, there are nights when I lie awake wondering if I had done things differently. If I had been more careful or more decisive, what then? But there is none to be gained from thinking thus. We must count our blessings, must we not? We're still here, and most of what was broken can be rebuilt. You'll see. You will see. For the freedom of all. It had begun with an oath and ended with a betrayal, as the conspirators turned on their comrades for coin and country. The good and the true were beaten and imprisoned, or else butchered where they stood. But even in their darkest moments, they never stopped believing that the dawn's light would shine again. Yeah, we are just going all over the fucking place. see. Skysteel Manufactory. Why, hello there. Fancy meeting you here. Hey, Wedge. Reminiscing about the glory days, huh? Aye, we spent many a sleepless night hammering away at that corner of ours. How's your mana cutter holding up, by the way? That's good to hear. Not that I had any doubts, like, our craftsmanship's second to none. Quite right. It will take more than swirling winds and raging dragons to bring her down. And that, my friends, is an Ironworks guarantee. Speaking of which, on the back of the field test success, we've gone ahead and licensed the design for mass production. Soon the Skysteel Manufactory will be churning out mana cutters by the dozen. Which is why we're here today, as a matter of fact, to make sure their machinists don't bugger anything up. Apparently, adventurers have been queuing up to place an order, and even some sky pirates. Just imagining the sea of clouds steaming with our creations filled me with a father's pride. Yeah, I was probably, that was probably, you know, before the Sky Pirate and Void Art quests were introduced. I kind of did things out of order a little bit. Right then, that's enough patting ourselves on the back. We've got to make sure the cutters are up to snuff, or Jesse'll never let us hear the end of it. Now till we finish, there'll be no more breaks, distractions, and not one wink of sleep. Do you hear me? Oh, Chocobo. Well, we'll leave you to it. Next time, eh? Despite the many hardships they had endured, or perhaps because of them, they greeted every new challenge with a smile. Their workshop, their battlefield, their tools, their weapons. They invariably rose to the occasion, delivering ingenious solutions to seemingly insoluble problems. Back to the Turning Mists, huh? What are we gonna find here? Through tempestuous winds they carved a path, breaching the dread worm's sanctum, and there did they put him to the sword. Yet in the wake of a hard-fought victory, were secrets laid bare in vision dark and disturbing. The legacy of fathers bequeathed to their sons and passed down through the generations. Old blood enduring in the new, the mark of original sin. And back to Ishgard. We just left. Oh, come on. Let me jump down. And there she is at last. Gilbriant said were wandering all over, reminiscing about days gone by. Seems a bit soon if you ask me. But not like I don't understand, though. Some days I'll be walking through the broom, same as normal, and it'll hit me all of a sudden just how much has changed for us. Though I know it's a bit different from what you've been through. Puts me in mind of the first time I saw her and her friends up near the Aetherite, being shown around by that house for Tom man. Well, you never told me you'd met before. It weren't so much a meeting as a heckling, to be honest. When I heard their guide warning them off paying a visit to the broom, it stuck in my craw. And you've got to admit that Master Alphino's the spitting image of a snotty little lordling. A little lordling that went on to fight 2 knights of the Heavensward with her here in a trial guide by combat, not to mention helping retake the vault from the True Brothers. Fury have mercy, it feels like a bleeding lifetime ago, doesn't it? 'Cause it was. And we've got now nothing like what it came before. It's a bleeding rebirth is what it is. Cold comfort to the folks who died getting us here. Still, this piece is ours, and we owe it to ourselves to make the most of it. Meaning, we've got to work twice as hard to make the broom a better place. And no more harassing blue bloods either. Aye, aye. A world apart from the opulence of the pillars, they had toiled, shrouded in the haze of the broom. Sentenced to a life of hardship by birth, they dreamed of revolution as children dream of fairies. Then one came and went, and they suddenly found themselves with a seat at the table. Sea of Clouds. I'm gonna go talk to the owl people. Okay, not really owl, but, you know, bird. Oh. Clouds part and let shine, brilliant sun upon Lanu Vanu. Great Netherling warrior returns to Oak Zondu, and on pilgrimage of remembrance. Well, well. Know that we will always be grateful to you for your victory over the ravenous wight. No longer we need fear for our safety of our smallest islands. But Lanu Vanu is not one to forget Netherling's first coming, when she saves us from certain deaths at the hands of the Black Ones. Distant memory though it is. Yes, her many deeds are the stuff of legends. We shall remember the stories and the hero's name, for they are worthy of celebration now and ever after. An earnest, good-natured people, they had borne witness to the rage of their beloved god's twisted manifestation, and proclaimed it to be false. By the grace of kind travelers were they duly delivered from its wrath, by the mad god's death, signaling the birth of a new hero. Now we're going to Gridania? Oh my god. I mean, I guess we did go to Gridania to save Y'shtola, so I guess this makes sense, but still. Literally just hopping all over the place. My fucking teleportation costs are fucking through the roof. I mean, it's nice to go through all these areas and talk to all these people again. It's really quite the extensive journey of recollection. Well met. What brings you here this night? Indeed. Though it seems an age, it was not all that long ago that we rescued Stola from the life stream. How quickly we begin to forget even those memories most precious to us. In my defense, I might add that I have rarely missed an opportunity to make new memories with my sister in the days since her return. Our conversations are largely on matters of scientific and professional concern, ancient Allagan technologies, primals, Ascians, and so forth. She has an insatiable thirst for knowledge, as you know. Yet, while I understand her desire to not burden those around her with her troubles and to carry on as she did before, I do worry that her willingness to manipulate her own ether to compensate for the loss of her sight may have dire repercussions. She never told you then? But of course not. She would rather have defeated the purpose. You should know that the technique she employs places a tremendous strain on her body. She is, of course, well aware of her limits, and more than willing to ignore them should she deem it necessary. I pray you see that she does not. Regrettably, she is wont to ignore my advice when it does not suit her. Yet, given your shared experiences, mayhap she will be more willing to heed your warnings. Her sister was under no illusions as to the dangers of life she had chosen. Should the worst come to the worst, Y'shtola would do what needed to be done, pay any price, make any sacrifice, and that without hesitation. And she was a woman of conviction, deserving of respect and admiration, and no small amount of work. Alright, Idleshire. I can't imagine there are that many more places we would have to go visit. Maybe Madame Matoya? But there's not really places to go visit in fucking, Azizla. There's nobody there. Why must governing Great Gabi Nation be so difficult? Like herding Kurls. Stupid Kurls with muchly differing views on glorious nature's future direction. Yes, Slowfix knows that he is letting emotions run wild. Uplanders welcome voice of reason. Not like when Uplanders first returned to Idleshire, yes? So much venom in that one's tongue flaps, calling Gabi flock thieves. But Slowfix saw a way to mutual understanding. Citizenship in society, first step to strengthening communal ties, gives all vested interest in continued prosperity of egalitarian utopia. The burdens we bear. The final objective of this quest, you will receive no guidance from the journey or duty list. You will need to read the text very carefully and decipher the clues to determine your next course of action. Huh. Okay, that's worth it. And now, Slowfix bid Uplanders fulfill civic duty as citizen of Idleshire and with hand lending of great import. In cave south of settlement lives Old Crone, wielder of powerful magics used to crafty make frogmen that chase away curious goblins. Uplander has made many busy deals with old crone, yes? Then Uplander can appeal to crone's better nature and make her call off fragman harriets. Alright, Master Batoya's first. Alright, I can't fly in here. I can use my mount in this area, but I can't fly. Alright, now I just need to remember where the Matoya's cave is. I think it's in this area. Because that's the Arboretum. Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, right there. Burden Sweeper. Alright, it's given me direction, I'm assuming that... I'm assuming we haven't gotten to the point where I actually need to pay attention and figure out where I'm going myself. Oh, I see, I see. Makes sense. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. I'm well aware that you're only here because you want something, but at least you didn't bring your little friends, so out with it. Oh, is that what the goblins told you? That my servants were attacking their poor defenseless scouts without the slightest provocation? Ha! The little buggers were trying to eat them. They're lucky I didn't have my pirogos return the favor. But you can tell them from me that if they try it again, I will personally feed them to my servants one limb at a time. I do hope you didn't come all this way just to play errand girl for those little dirty little scroungers. Aren't you a bit young to be going on grand journeys of reflection? You haven't lived long enough to have so many regrets. The same goes for that boy complaining that things hadn't unfolded as he dreamed they would. Makes no difference what should have happened to Minfilia. What matters is what did happen. The past is the past, and no amount of wishing you'd done things differently will make it so. You make your choices, and you do what needs to be done. That's it. That's the attitude you came here with the first time, when you wanted to find a way to get to Azis La, and you would do well to remember it. Right then, I think you've wasted quite enough of my time. It's bad enough that I have to suffer Stola's unannounced visits. I don't need you making a habit of it too. She was the sum of everything that had come before. Triumphs, failures, all essential, all indispensable. Had things unfolded differently, so too would she. What use, then, to mourn the woman who never was? There was only this time, this place, this choice. Yeah, had this not been here, I would have gone to Azis La. That was pretty obvious. You spy something on the ground at the landing's edge. A bouquet of fresh Nymea lilies lie at your feet, an offering for the departed. A thousand fires blossomed around her as she fell towards the battleship, a crimson star shower amidst the impassive clouds. And then came the azure light, faint at first, soon blinding, and shattering, casting motes of diamond to the four winds. Hey, Tiamat. It's been a bit. Child of man, chosen of Heidelin, naught remaineth for thee here save the delusions of the condemned. In my madness did I spy my departed brood brother in yonder skies, though I know it cannot be so. What sayest thou? My senses are yet mine own? Then he whom I saw was but my dead brother's rancor clad in mortal flesh? And thou didst deliver him unto death's cold embrace. I bear thee no ill will, child. 'Tis beyond me. All my hatreds are bound up in moments ephemeral and eternal. My beloved's passing and his resurrection. I am no better than Nidhogg. Consumed by love, twisted by rage, I too sought vengeance without end. Hey, Fred. Hey, Midgard Somer. Buddy, it's been a while. Yet thou hast since renounced it, hast thou not? Through millennia have I watched as time did that which I could not. As the men of Allag perished and their works fell to ruin, leaving me to think on mine own sins in solitude. What folly to despise man his base desires, when hatred's hand so effortlessly drove me to take Ascian reed. Then look thou on him again with eyes unclouded, and mark how he laboureth to rise above his nature, and how he and Hraesvelgur's brood now raise their voices in a shared song of peace. Oh, wrong button. 'Tis my dearest hope that it shall prove the founding stone for a bulwark against the dark. Oh. Chosen of Heidelin, it is well that thou camest unto me into contemplation, but the road stretcheth ever on, and thy battle is not yet won. Perhaps there was hope for them. Perhaps this time they would learn and remember. But her part in the tale had ended long ago. Within this moment to hubris would she remain until the end of days, beyond redemption. The Undying Ones were defiant, disbelieving even as death embraced them. Then the Knights too succumbed, loyal to the last to a cause long lost. His body growing light, the Archbishop looked upon the arbiter of his fate, and knew not what he saw. And then it was over. Naught remained save the eyes. Thinking to bear them away from the covetous hand of men, Justinian took the accursed baubles in his own and was duly bent to their will, if only for a time. At a friend's behest they embarked upon their journey, and so after their triumphant homecoming and all the pomp and circumstance, there was but one way it could end. This is the one where that it's not going to tell me. Okay. Fuck. Pay respects. There's only one place where it could end. Fuck, I have no idea. My first guess would be where we... Fuck. I am, like... totally unsure. At friends' behest, they embarked upon their journey, and so after their triumphant homecoming, there was but one way it could end. I'm assuming they're talking about Minfilia, since we already kind of talked about Iceheart, or Ysayle. I have an idea. I doubt it's Vesper Bay, but my guess is either Vesper Bay and going to the Rising, Waking Sands, or the Rising Stones. It's probably one of those two. But I could be totally wrong. We'll try those first, and if I'm wrong, I'll take the hint. I doubt it's here, but I just want to be thorough. Oh, it's not talking about Minfilia. It's talking about Hashafont. Which means we're either going to Hashevant Manor or we're going to Korthus. Let's see. We'll go to Camp Dragonhead first, because that's where we met him. If I remember correctly, there was a cutscene at the end, after the ending quest, that was on a hill somewhere here. I just need to think about how to get to that hill. It's either this area next to the gate. I think I have the right idea. I just need to figure out exactly where I'm going. Yeah, because we kind of got time to figure out and deal with the death of Minfilia, so I think this makes much more sense. Especially with the kind of provided hint of the fact that we get an emote, I think, called Hashefont for the end of this quest. Yep. I figured it out myself. Hashefont, buddy. Who the fuck are you? Just sneak up on me like that, you fuck. What the fuck? Oh, it's Francel. You're right. God damn it. This is the one disadvantage of playing this game in short spurts over months, is I forget things. Oh well. That was nice. I was kind of mixed on that, but as we got to the actual parts of the main story quests that were like big... Oh, hi, Francel. Oh, this is, that's for Towards the Firmament. That's not the quest we're doing. Speaking of Francel, that's the guy, that's him right there. Oh, that's what you meant by math-like name. Mathy. Yes? What about this one? What are the levels? That was 56, that's 50. I'm assuming we're keeping the ledger. Good day to you, miss. How may I help you? Oh, you wish to help me. Well, your timing couldn't be better. It would seem I have misplaced the record of sales for my most esteemed client, Saint Edalim's Scholasticate. Yep, it's this one. Said client has requested another volume of the 72 articles of Halionic Polity. There are 14 in total, and try as I might, I cannot recall which one I specified. Surely you can imagine how embarrassing it would be were I to ask them myself, and they learned the reason why. That's why I need you to go in my stead. No need for overt inquiries. Mine just make small talk and surreptitiously examine the shelves to see what might be missing. Yeah, I got probably another 50 minutes in me. The 72 articles? I do remember borrowing a volume. Which one I cannot say. Would that I had time to read it. Truth be told, my so-called schoolmates have kept me rather preoccupied of late. Not a day goes by without them pulling some childish prank on my dear friend Theomont Uscent. Well, they try at least. I do what I can to see their plans come to naught. To know they will move on to become clergymen or even prelates. We live in a truly unjust world. Pray keep your voice down when inside the Scholasticate. You are studying the 72 articles as well? I suppose that makes one of us. I require volume 4, but it is yet to be returned. Outlines the canon laws of the Ishgard Orthodoxy. In truth, these books are all rather dense, especially after the 11th volume. You must memorize the teachings of the 4th to set a foundation for everything that follows. Lee was the last to borrow it as far as I know, but he's been so busy as of late. Something about helping children being bullied? If he is truly so busy, I wish he would at least return the book to us. A lowborn stumbles into the Scholasticate and thinks herself qualified to study Orthodox doctrine. Oh, droll. Our facilities are reserved for those who have potential like myself. I'll have you know that I'm working through the final volume of the 72 articles. A simpleton like you could expect a lifetime in study and fail to comprehend a single word, I expect. But don't let me dissuade you. Start with volume 1 and mull over the first few pages for a year or so. Right. You find volume 10. You find a listing for volumes 1 through 9 on the shelf, however volumes 4 and 6 appear to be missing. You find volume 6. So we're looking for volume 4. Oh, pardon me, the 72 articles? Why, yes, I've been poring over volumes 12 and 13. The subject matter is quite dense, hardly something that could be handled in a single sitting. If you have need, I could be bear to part with them for a short while. No? I see. In that case, I shall continue my studies. The fuck was up with that guy? Quite an interesting outfit he was wearing. Back from the Scholasticate? Good. So which volume are they missing? Volume 4. Volume 11. Yes, that's it. I remember now. Phew, my business and reputation are safe thanks to you. As I'm sure you can imagine, falling out of their good graces would bode ill for business. The Scholasticate is the cornerstone of education within the church, and all members of the clergy must pass through its doors. But with a word from the headmistress, I could lose everything I own, or worse. But thanks to you, my dear madam, my business is safe. You've helped me more than you'll ever know. I'll take, striking. Is that it? Or do I have to do this one too? I was kind of expecting more to that. I guess we'll do this one too. Looking for a bit of work, are we? You don't look to be one strapped for coin, but I never turn away anyone looking to make an honest gill. Would you mind taking a stack of chocobo fodder down to the Holy Stables and Foundation? The stablemaster Sevilla is expecting a delivery. She paid me up front, but fear not, that was merely for the fodder. There's still a delivery charge, and you're welcome to it if you take the fodder down there for me. Oh good, a mender. Most of my equipment is in shitty condition. Thanks. Probably in the Scholasticate, if I were to guess, but, I need to go back there in that case. Shouldn't be too hard. Finish this really quick, though. Might as well. I picked it up and teleported here already. I see. Oh, the fodder. Splendid. The chocobos are in for a treat. We specialize in the breeding and training of cavalry chocobos, so they must have nothing but the very best. They had to put through an admittedly harsh training regimen, and only a chocobo of the finest stock can endure it. That's why my assistant and I... Wait a second. Where is my assistant? No doubt he's run off to the light feather proving grounds again. Would you be a dear and go get him for me? And tell him to expect chocobo fodder for lunch if he doesn't hurry? Just teleport over to the Forgotten Knight. Holy fuck. That's a lot of gil. Not that that's probably worth it, but it's probably more worth it to just keep it and upgrade my chocobo to past rank 10 after when I get it to that level. Hello there. Come for a few matches as well, I take it. Have you ever seen anything so exhilarating? There's nothing in this world more majestic than a chocobo. Spirited and resilient, with plumage kissed by the golden sun. They are my passion, and I long to someday breed the perfect chocobo. Fortunately, I work at the Holy Stables, or I'd never have the opportunity. Sevilla's looking for me? Bugger me with a hayfork, the fodder must have arrived. The matches will have to wait. Thanks for the tip, friend. Alright, back to the stables. Might as well complete this for the onion. He practically tripped over himself running in here not long ago. Thank you for finding him. He'll have to buckle down if he's serious about becoming a realm-renowned breeder. Though, he's off to a good start, having come here. Ishgard is famous for raising chocobos, you know. They've always been the steed of choice on the battlefield. The Proving Grounds, where you found my starry-eyed assistant, ensure they get plenty of practice. Well, I say it's practice, but it also makes a good show for some of the folks spectating as well. You should see for yourself sometime. Nothing like feathers flying from two chocobos fluttering, almost dancing back and forth in the arena. You'll quickly come to understand why they call it the Light Feather Proving Grounds. And as long as this stable stands, you can be sure our chocobos will be there. I'll confess the weather has been more than unkind to our chocobo chicks, but we have traditions and a reputation to uphold. Alright, let's teleport back up to the upper area, so we can go back to the Scholasticate, where hopefully there will be the pickup point for the next quest. Maybe inside the Scholasticate itself, which means we need to go to the cathedral. No? Huh. Okay, well... huh. Alright, time to look it up. Oh. Huh. I see the issue. The last one we just did was keeping the ledger. The next quest in line, which is contradicting convictions, requires her last vow, which is part of the Hildebrand quests. And the man, which is in the Hildebrand Adventures quest line at level 50. So, yeah, we're not gonna get to that for some time, because that requires, like, an entire it is literally the last quest in the A Realm Reborn Manderville quest, it looks like. So, yeah, we're not getting to that tonight. Especially since I don't have a ton more time to stream anyway. But, I mean, unless there's anything else that I missed, we did... we completed the Path We Walk quest line, which took me literally almost an hour, 30 minutes. Minus the stuff we did last session. But, yeah, I think here's what we'll do. I'll call it here for the night. And then during this next week, if I can stream next Wednesday, and I don't have Ninja leveled up to 60 as required for Stormblood, what I'll do is we'll just sweep the Manderville quest line next stream. in the hope that after that stream, I'll be able to start Stormblood efficiently. I think that's a good bet, because I'm probably going to need to complete some of the ninja, the rogue and ninja quests, class quest on that point. So I think that's where we're going to call it for the night. Thanks everybody so much for watching, if you still are. I will be back on Saturday with Final Fantasy XVI. I'm already like 8 hours through that game. I don't know how long it is, but we're getting there. Regardless, if you enjoyed and want to catch more streams, everybody knows the deal. It literally, everybody ever says this. It's literally just a reminder, so I'm not even going to bother. Mainly because I already alluded to what you need to do anyway. Regardless, I hope everybody enjoyed. Have a good night. I hope to see everybody next time. I hope to have this job leveled up to 60 by next time, but we'll see. Have a good night. Bye-bye.